Hello, trading is closed on February 9th, 2018. Kind of wild stuff going on. Let's go over my calls from yesterday and make a prediction for Monday. I'll spoil the movie by saying I think there's a huge move coming. No surprise. We'll go over the positives and the negatives and then explain how the opening trade should let us know what's going to happen. We looked for a gap up. We got that. Looked for a pattern with an early high, late low, tendency to drop into the close. Well, we didn't drop into the close. The pattern would still hold true if we gapped under this low. But otherwise, when you have a pattern like this and you don't close near the low, in fact, when you close over this high, it's positive and typically leads to higher prices. All you have to do for confirmation is to go over today's close by 1 cent, meaning if you gap down, this doesn't count. Well, we said there was support, and unless we gapped under this low, which didn't happen, support tended to win. That's what happened. We had some old MEJT targets right here, right here. We get to cross those off the list. These targets weren't too helpful. They weren't really relevant when they printed over 4 months ago, but they sure look relevant today. That's how the system works. Well, early on, MEJT said ultimately lower prices would print, which they did. It also said prices would retrace over this line, which they did. Page 120 of my book gave a criteria for a buy signal right at the low, but the signal gives a signal that higher prices are coming. It doesn't give a specific entry, and it certainly doesn't predict a rise of this magnitude. In fact, MEJT says the whole move is false and gives us a target of 2554.86, most likely to print before Monday's close. Well, what's positive about the pattern? Well, we gapped up, hit a new low, recovered over all the highs. That's positive as long as we confirm it by trading over today's close. There was incredible support at the low. As we showed, here are these TDST lines. Support goes to a bar under the line, and that's held so far. We have a new TDST line starting in the other direction with 9 of the bars today. Usually when you have 9 bars most of the time, but not required, the next one goes the other direction, which would be up. If we do go up, that's the next MEJT target I have. It's an ultimate signal, and ultimately those things tend to print. There's incredible support at this low. It's a 200-day moving average, this line. It's also a 200-week moving average at the low. Here's a Gann fan line hit within 1%. And if you connect this and this, you can see how it doesn't quite nail it exactly, but it comes awfully close. So all we have to do for that support is to trade higher. Now, what if support fails? This pattern normally closes near its low. It's very unusual for this to happen, and reversals like this aren't supposed to happen on a Friday. When you're tanking like this on a Friday, it's extremely unusual to have a reversal. The only thing that would negate a strong pattern like this would be to gap down and promptly take out this low. Now, what's the chance of that happening? Well, we do have the target. And then there's a wave count. There are any number of ways to count this. This is, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives us a standard wave 1 right over here. But what if wave 1 ends here? This is a three-wave structure. If wave 1 ends there, and this is A, and that's B, and that's C, it's pretty darn close. Not perfect, I'll grant you, but pretty darn close for A equals C. So we have a possible wave count with this a 3, with A equals C for the end of wave 2. And if it is alternate wave 3 starting, it isn't inconceivable it could gap under this low. What further complicates the issue is when you look at this fifth wave and you take wave 1, 2, 3 and you measure wave 5 from 4, at this point 5 is exactly equal to wave 1, 2, 3. So there really is an argument that this is the end of the wave for wave 1, that we've completed wave 2. Not necessarily, but if that's a count, it isn't inconceivable we could gap under this low, gap under all the support, and crash. Now, crashes are rare things. I hesitate to predict one. But if we gap under this low, which I think is plausible, we crash. And if instead we keep going up over today's close, we could go much higher. I wish I could go back in time and purchase a straddle for Monday, because the open should be very interesting if we get a huge rally or a disastrous crash. I think those are the most two likely scenarios, and that's today's call.